Bournemouth are flying in the Premier League, but how have they done it? Hello and welcome back to INMR, where in today's podcast I'm going to explain the tactics behind Bournemouth's amazing season so far and how Andoni Iraola gets the best out of his side. Starting off with their build-up play. In the low build-up, Iraola positions his side in a 4-3-3 formation with 2 number 8s and 1 number 6. Bournemouth frequently use long rapid balls, and to increase their chances of winning the first and second balls, they place their attackers in the middle and their number 8s high. Bournemouth maintain that 4-3-3 formation during the high build-up on paper, but it almost shifts into a 4-1-5 to keep the number 8s high. In order to place themselves between opposition players, Bournemouth constantly look for number 8s in the pockets. Because defending players are unsure about who should mark the Bournemouth number 8s, nobody does. In order to break lines and locate a number 8 who can turn and drive at defenders, Bournemouth will search for passes from the back or the wing. In the pockets, they can also locate other players. The winger or number 6 will occasionally sprint into the pocket and collect a pass from a Bournemouth defender when the number 8 drops. The Bournemouth player receiving the ball will have extra time and space, since the drop in number 8 will have drawn away an opposing midfielder, creating space in the middle. The Bournemouth fullbacks excel at contributing to attacks and frequently push up beside the winger when the centre-backs control the ball. This puts the opponent's fullback up against the Bournemouth winger and fullback in a 2v1 matchup, which, if the number 8 comes in, might even become a 3v1. With long balls from the back directed at the opposition fullback, Bournemouth capitalise on this numerical advantage. They typically win the first or second ball, which helps them advance play. Inverting the fullback to provide the winger the passing lane is another fullback rotation used by Bournemouth. The ball-side fullback occasionally flips into the midfield when a centre-back possesses the ball, and the passing route from the centre-back to the winger is opened as a result of dragging the opposing winger inside. The winger, who can approach the opponent fullback and form a 2v1 with the Bournemouth number 8, will receive the ball. Bournemouth attack the opposition's backline with the early through ball without hesitation. When the Bournemouth defenders or midfielders control the ball, the attackers are always running in behind. The opposition is unable to play with a high back line and close the gap between the lines because of this ongoing threat. Instead, they must drop the back line and guard the area behind, creating a gap in the middle that the Bournemouth midfielders can take advantage of. The ability of Bournemouth to generate numerical advantages against the opposition's defensive line is another crucial component of their build-up. A front 5 is formed when the number 8s push up high, and they excel at exploiting the fact that their front 5 is inherently numerically superior than a back 4. Due to the 1 versus 2 matchup with Bournemouth's winger and number 8, the weak side fullback is exposed to the switch of play when the opposing team is positioned on one side. By getting the ball to the winger and generating numerous opportunities from 2v1 situations on the flank and in the half spaces, Iraola's team takes advantage of this. When the number 8 runs in behind, the fullback is forced to follow, creating room for the winger. In the final third, Bournemouth are excellent. They constantly create a lot of opportunities, mostly by attacking the gap between the opposing centre-back and fullback. With underlaps from the number 8s or occasionally the fullbacks, they mostly achieve this from the wide regions. The winger can either take the ball inside to combine with an attacker or shoot, or he can play it to the player underneath who can cross to a teammate in the box. Iraola's team also plays through balls from the midfield or back line to a running winger or number 8, taking use of the space between the centre-back and the fullback. Overlaps are another tactic Bournemouth use to create chances in the final third. A Bournemouth player quickly overlaps when the winger receives the ball, resulting in a 2v1 on the wing again. The winger can cut inside and take a shot, or combine with a midfielder if the opposing fullback drops to cover that overlapping run. The ball can be delivered to the overlapping player with ease if the fullback covers the centre, opening up that crossing option. When the ball is in the final third, the wingers and number 8s always try to run into the box, frequently bringing 4 or 5 players into these positions to generate overloads. The opposing team is forced to make choices and leave some players vulnerable due to the numerical advantages in the box. Crosses to the wingers at the back post are the main source of Bournemouth's goals. A Bournemouth number 8 will frequently occupy the opponent fullback, creating a ton of space at the back post for the wingers to attack. In preparation for second balls and cutbacks, Iraola also places a number of Bournemouth players outside the box. They consistently manage to breach the opposition's defence, creating room in front of the back line. These areas are frequently occupied by Bournemouth's midfielders, who can either shoot or work with an attacker to create a goal-scoring opportunity. Defensively, Bournemouth are great in a high press and a low press depending on the opposition, but being aggressive without the ball is highly valued by Iraola, so that is used more often. Iraola wants his squad to press the opposition hard and go man to man. They score a lot of goals by winning the ball high up the field, effectively using their strong press as an offensive threat. But there is always a time when teams need to use a low press, and when this happens, Bournemouth adopt a 4-4-2 system. They aim to position themselves in a mid-block, constantly attempting to shut out the centre and push the opposition out wide. When defending, they always try to squeeze the pitch. Bournemouth's initial line of pressure rises when the opposition play a back pass or sluggish sideways pass, and the rest of the team follows to maintain that compactness. They push up even more when the following pass is made, which further pushes the opponent back. They take this action because it makes it more difficult for the opposition to produce chances when they're being pushed further away from the Bournemouth goal. Putting a lot of players in the middle gives the midfield a numerical edge and facilitates defensive transitions. When a large number of players are near the ball after losing it, they can try and get it back. As a result, Bournemouth frequently win possession back right away after losing it. Iraola wants his side to counter during attacking transitions as well. They frequently attack the gaps between the centre-backs and the full-backs whilst doing this at fast speed. They can also include more players in the counter by retaining a large number of players centrally whilst defending. So that is all of Andoni Iraola's tactics and how he is getting the most out of this Bournemouth side. But how far do you think Bournemouth can go this season? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That is where I'm going to end today's podcast, but there are plenty of others you can go and listen to. For more content, be sure to check out my website, that's inmrfootball.co.uk. On there you can find match reports, live blogs, club updates and so much more. And if that's not enough, INMR is also on X and Instagram, so you can follow me on both of those platforms for even more daily football content. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.